On this episode of This is Game Boy, Tower, this is Ghost Rider requesting a flyby. Hello everyone and welcome to another thrilling episode of This is Game Boy, episode 24. I'm Beltha Gaming, and with me, as always, is Moelle.
Hello, everybody.
And we got a treat for you today, but before we dive into said treat, Mo, what have you been up to?
I wouldn't say a treat, but yeah. Well, it's not been that long since I recorded the light episode that is coming out before this. I think it was only a few days ago. So since then, I haven't been doing much. I finished River City Girls on Switch. I really like the game, but I have no intention of completing it, which is basically getting all characters up to level 40. I'm finishing the New Game Plus mode, which, besides being harder, doesn't really offer anything else. Maybe if I had a second player to play it with, it would be better to do that, but it's only local co-op, and well, I'm alone, so there goes that plan. But yeah, maybe in the future I would love to play it with somebody else. At least you can level up 2 characters at the same time then, so that's a little bit more fun to play. But yeah, great game.
Is that game more like Double Dragon or like River City Ransom?
Like River City Ransom for sure.
Okay.
Yeah, it's you level up, you gain stats. There's an open world you can explore, shops to visit, and things like that.
Oh, that's cool.
So yeah, it's pretty fun. It's not that long at all. I don't know how long it took me, like 7 hours maybe for the normal mode playthrough, and then like another 20 minutes to get the quote-unquote secret ending. Yeah, it's not that bad. But you start with the 2 girls, of course, but everybody knows it already, so no spoilers probably, but you unlock Kunio and Ricky, the male characters from River City Ransom after you beat the game. So then you have 4 characters to play with eventually. I picked up Harvest Moon for Game Boy again. I think it's called Harvest Moon Game Boy, actually. Super boring. Like, there's nothing more I can say about that. Like, the game works, of course, like everything goes as it's planned, but besides planting, watering, and harvesting, and then eventually if you get, like, chickens or cows, there's literally nothing to do in that game. I'm, for starters, not a fan of games like this. I never played them, the exception to the Ruli Stardew Valley, because it offers so much to do. But this one is really like, you have an entire day you could fill up, but I'm already done with most things before the clock even hits noon. So I'm just going to bed because there's nothing else to do in the game at all, which makes the game go faster at least. But yeah, I don't think I'll be going for the Ranch Master, I think it is. I'm just gonna play through, I think 2 years is like the cutoff for this game. I think I'll just do that, see what my rank is, but I don't intend to go for all the like hidden values that you have to get Ranch Master. Like, it's way too boring for that. If there was actually something to do, I wouldn't mind, but this is literally like, yeah, farm and nothing else. Which technically is a game, but yeah, it's a little bit boring.
I haven't played Harvest Moon Game Boy, but I've watched you play a little bit of it, and I've watched John Carl's play it a lot, and I was just like, I enjoyed the Super Nintendo and I think the PS2 Harvest Moon. I enjoyed those. But, like, watching the Game Boy Harvest Moon, I'm just like, oh, this does not look enjoyable.
No, it's not. Like, it's too bare bones to keep your attention, sadly. Like, there's no side quest things there. There are events, but they're if you do, well, you do them automatically anyways, and those are like 2-minute cutscenes. So, like, there's not enough to it to keep you invested in the game. Like, you would say it's because of the limitations on the Game Boy. I would disagree, because this game came out in 1996. They could have done a lot more with it. So that's definitely no excuse. I don't know if the Game Boy Color version has more to offer besides color. I doubt it, actually, because I think it's literally the same game.
Well,
so.
there's like 3 of them on the Game Boy Color.
Oh,
it's like
okay.
Harvest Moon Game Boy 1, Game Boy Color 1, 2, and 3.
Oh, yeah, maybe
So-
the other ones are a little bit more expanded than this one. But yeah, I would say if you like Harvest Moon games, don't play this one. It's really not worth your time. Even though it looks good and it sounds good, it just not really much fun to play. You're just sitting there waiting for, well, you're not even waiting. Like, I'm skipping the days basically at this point, because there's nothing to do. So yeah, go play any other Harvest Moon game, or Stardew Valley, or even Animal Crossing.
Just go play Stardew Valley. Stardew Valley is way better.
Yeah, it is. It definitely is. I've played some Burger Time Deluxe yesterday, which
good game.
is... it's not a port of the arcade game. It's actually its own game with its own stages and things like that. It has 24 stages in total. It's 6 worlds, each 4 stages. After you've beaten a world, you get a password, so you can keep on continuing even if you die. I'm stuck in the final world, because this is not an easy game at all. Maybe for people who are familiar with the arcade game a lot, you know the techniques and things like that to keep yourself going and to get a high score. I do not. I never played Burger Time in my life. I am enjoying the game, but I'm completely stuck in this final world. It's more puzzle based, because you have to do a certain way of going through the level to actually be able to beat it. So it's really figuring out what your best course of action is. I watched a little bit of the TAS. Problem is that the TAS does some, I wouldn't say frame perfect tricks, but they are very risky as a normal player. So I'm trying to copy them, but it doesn't work out all the way. And like, you only have 3 lives to start with. If you get to 10,000, an extra life appears somewhere on the board, always in the same place, but like, it's not that you just gain an extra life, so you still have to go get it, meaning you would probably get stuck anyways before getting it. So yeah, it's fun to figure it out, but I have been playing it for almost 4 hours now, I think. And
Oh, wow.
that is a long time for a 24 stage game with stages that last 1 minute. So
I've only ever played the 2-player version of Burger Time Deluxe on Game Boy. I played it with Slashfinity 2 or 3 years ago. Now, whenever he came over to visit, does the single player still have like the salt shot and all that other power ups too, where you can shoot the food or whatever it is coming at you with salt?
yeah.
Or pepper?
If you start with I think 4 pepper shots. So you always have those, and you have 2 extra lives. After a certain amount of points, it's all point-based. All the spawns for the items are completely point-based. You get either a pepper shaker, it is, an extra life at 10,000, that one I know by heart. There's the chocolate upgrade, which makes you invincible for like 8 seconds, 10 seconds max. And then there's a coffee cup, and I don't know what that thing does at all. Like, I picked it up.
So it's actually pretty similar to the arcade.
Yeah.
I've played the arcade version before.
Yeah, it's definitely similar. It has the same enemies except for one that comes in the final 4 stages, which is a huge, either an onion ring or a donut. I'm gonna say an onion ring because like the rest is like eggs and hot dogs and things like that, so maybe a donut is out of place. And that one basically moves the same as the hot dog would, which means just following you basically, but it's like super big, so it's kind of harder to avoid it. But besides that, it's pretty much the same as the arcade game, but the arcade game only has 6 stages and then it loops, and this actually has like a storyline, quote unquote, that you follow, and 24 stages you have to beat. But yeah, it gets extremely tough near the end if you are not great at these games. So yeah, fun game though. I think people should check it out. I'm just not good at arcade style games. Like the thing is, if you get through the stages, like you beat World 1 and then you start World 2, for example, but like if you've used all your pepper in World 1, they don't replenish it, so it's better to just game over and get a fresh start anyways. But yeah, people who know how to play this can probably get a lot of lives by the end of the game. I sadly cannot. I have the same problem with Qbert. I made it to the final world and I just can't beat it with the 3 lives the game gives me, so I'm pretty much screwed, I think.
Good old Qbert.
Yeah.
What a game.
Yeah, also a fun game, but like if you're not good at it, you just get stuck there for ages until you get lucky. But yeah, that's all that I've been playing on Game Boy, I think, unless I forgot something, I don't know. I talked about this on the Light, we had been playing the Metal Gear games. I think I covered all of those in the Light. I'm not sure if I said that I finished Final Fantasy VII Remake last time. Don't remember, but I did. I finished the normal mode, and I'm just slowly playing through hard mode, like 1 or 2 chapters a day, because I need a break from it after 45 hours. That's with all the games. Like, then I get bored of them, and I just need to take it step by step, actually. So
you're also going for platinum in that game too, right?
Yeah, I am. Yeah, there's nothing hard in that game to get the platinum trophy, so I don't see any troubles with that at all. So the way hard mode is going with skipping all the scenes and things like that, like it took me an hour to get to chapter 5 already, so it goes a lot faster. So that's not really an issue. The
I
fights,
guess there are a lot of cutscenes,
yeah, there are,
and they're long.
Yep. Like, because there's not that many fights in the game technically. So you're just doing those. They are not easy though on hard mode. Like, I think Cloud is almost maxed out at this point, and I've been in fights that I just got completely wrecked if I wasn't paying attention for a second. So it does offer some challenge, but it's definitely overcomable. It's not something like Dante Must Die mode in Devil May Cry or something where one hit kills you. But yeah. And the good thing about hard mode, like, I don't know if this is a spoiler or not, but it offers you like triple experience and triple AP, so it's easier to get what you need to get through fights at that point after you've beaten the game. So yeah, no problem there. That's all I've been playing. I've been watching a few series, like I finished up Mr. Mercedes, which is an... And you said that didn't exist, or you said it was a phone company or something.
It was
AT&T.
You linked me to AT&T. Yeah, it's a phone company in America.
Yeah, so it's an exclusive series to AT&T. I don't know what that means, of course, but like I can't. There's no other way to watch it at this point, so I had to not so legally obtain it to be able to watch it, but it's a great series. I would definitely recommend it. For people who don't know Mr. Mercedes, it's based on a trilogy written by Stephen King. First one was Mr. Mercedes, the second was
Finders Keepers,
and then there are 3 books, and it's based on that, so it has 3 seasons each. It's based on the books, but there are some things to change the story to make it more fitting for a TV series. And the changes are fine. Like it's nothing too crazy. So I really enjoyed that series. Afterwards, I watched The Outsider, which is also based on a Stephen King book. Did not like it that much. I liked the first 2 episodes, but after that it got either too far away from the book, or they focused on the wrong things, or I felt like they didn't really, how to say it, not the theme, but like the overall feeling that the book gave, they didn't really do it well in the series, in my opinion. Apparently people love the series. I thought it was okay-ish. Like, I wouldn't recommend it, but maybe people who do want to see how that is adapted to the TV screen, you can watch. And that's an HBO series, so maybe a little bit more accessible for some people. And now I'm trying to finish Dragon Ball Super. I'm only half watching that. I don't know what it is with Super, but I'm not that interested in it. Yeah, I don't know. It's like in the background on, and I'm sometimes glancing at it and I'm hearing what's going on, but yeah, it does not pique my interest as much as any of the other Dragon Ball series. Like Dragon Ball, the original, is one of my favorites. This one started out okay, kind of Dragon Ball style, but now it's just all over the place, and yeah, it lost my interest. But I do want to finish it. I have like 30 episodes left, which is like 15 minutes per episode if you skip the intro and the outro. And then the latest movie, the Broly, Super Broly, whatever they call it, movie.
It's a good movie.
Yeah, so I'll watch those just to get rid of it, I guess. It's sad to say that because I do love Dragon Ball, but yeah, it's just not as fun as I thought it would be. But I do want to finish it, though. It's not that it's bad or anything. It's just okay-ish.
Yeah, Super was definitely my least favorite of the Dragon Ball series out there. It started strong. it started pretty strong and pretty linear, and then it just kind of floated away from the norm and got really weird.
Yeah, it's like the first 2 sagas were based on the movies that came out before, of course, like God of Destruction movie and then the Golden Frieza movie. Yep. Those just got translated into an episodical parts of the series. But when that is over, it's like, yeah, okay, but I don't really care what's going on. Like, the stakes are dumb, in my opinion, and I'm sure a lot of people have seen it already, or at least played the newer games, so they kind of know what's going on. But I'm now at the Universal Tournament saga, and
I did not enjoy that
yeah,
at all.
it's like, okay, this concept is pretty cool, but you have, I think it's 8 universes fighting with each 10 fighters. And I don't care about any of these fighters. Like, none of them feel like a threat, or none have a cool backstory. They're just throwing people in there, and I'm like, yeah, Goku's gonna win anyway, so, like, not that the outcome would have been different any other way, but I just don't care about any of these characters they're introducing, and that's kind of sad, because for one, if you know Dragon Ball, for one thing, it's the really strong characters they had throughout the series, and now it's like, oh yeah, we just throw this random guy in, and he looks the same as this other random guy, and it's just not that great. Maybe the final fights in this saga will be at least a little bit entertaining, but what's going on right now is just absolutely stupid. And the choices they made with, not introducing, like, grabbing some of the characters back from the older series is also kind of weird. It's like, okay, Krillin, lovely character, but why throw him in a... Sorry, Lex. Why throw him in a universal fight with people who have the strengths of gods. Like, it's Krillin. It's still Krillin. Like, yeah, it's weird. But yeah, that's all I'm gonna say about it, and that's all I have been doing.
Have you gotten to the episode where they find the kid with the giant nipples yet?
I'm not sure, actually. The last one I saw, Krillin and Android 18 were fighting a bat that didn't see but used to smell, and then Krillin used his stinky feet to beat him. Like, funny enough, would work better in Dragon Ball than in this series. Was funny, but then he just like got kicked out by Totally Not Freeze, and well, goodbye Krillin. that's it for him. So yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, his real name is Monica.
I'm not sure. Maybe.
I'm
really not sure.
You would know if you've encountered him yet.
Oh no, I know exactly what you're talking about. Yeah, that was in the preliminaries, I think, that they did that. Yeah. Yeah.
So good.
See, but that's the thing, like, the humor in Dragon Ball Super is great because it's right on par with normal Dragon Ball, but it's just the rest that's totally boring. Oh.
And all Goku talks about is food. Literally the entire series.
And that. Well, but that was like that in Dragon Ball as well, but yeah.
Yeah, literally every episode ever to show in Dragon Ball. That's all Goku talks about.
But yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. Like, Dragon Ball Super, yeah, like, it I wanted to like it, and it was good, but it wasn't, I don't know, it didn't hit the mark for me like Dragon Ball Z did.
Mm-hmm.
So,
Yeah.
I don't know.
Oh, well.
The whole, like, Super Saiyan and Super Saiyan Black and Blue and all that just was like, this is dumb.
Yeah, it's just too much. It's not fun to have new forms if they're not exciting.
Yeah.
If you just have to, like, what's this called?
Snap
your fingers, there we go, and get a new form. Yeah, what's the point of it all anymore?
Yeah,
so.
if they're not screaming for 2 full episodes, I don't want to see it.
Yeah, and if it doesn't take Namek to explode for 50 episodes, nobody's gonna care. Like, there's no tension or anything. Yeah, but that's fun. Like, at the start of this tournament, I think that was 3 episodes ago, they said, this tournament is only gonna last 48 minutes. And I was like, but I have 40 episodes left to see. So it's Namek all over again. And I think in this last episode, the announcer said, like, 5 minutes have passed. So in 4 episodes. So yeah, there we go again. But yeah, anyways, that's enough about Dragon Ball Super. This is now an anime podcast. So yeah, that's everything I've been doing. What have you been up to?
Well, we'll start with Assassin's Creed. So I 100%ed and platinum Assassin's Creed Syndicate. What a waste of time that was. It's a good game, but it gets old after a while. It was the last, like, Assassin's Creed game on the old engine before Origins and Odyssey came out. Mm-hmm. And they tried to milk it for all it was worth with a bunch of, like, extra content, and most, like, 90% of the extra content was just not fun.
Yeah, I saw a little bit of it when you were playing it. I think that, like, the Sherlock Holmes kind of DLC.
Oh, the Dreadful Crimes was actually that one was probably the best DLC.
Yeah, that looked
the
fun.
Entire game. Yeah. Jack the Ripper started really strong because you get to play as Jack the Ripper, and then you ended up playing as Evie the rest of the DLC. And I didn't like playing as Evie because she was super weak and she just didn't have humor to her. Right. But the times you get to play as Jack the Ripper was really cool. A lot of Animal Crossing, honestly. Like, that's just what I do in my downtime during work now. It's just like I just grab my Switch and play a little bit of Animal Crossing during my downtime or lunch. And then for other video games, Final Fantasy VII Remake. Moe is heard my dismay of the game already. So
Yeah, I saw that this morning. Yeah.
I enjoyed the first 2 hours of the game because of pure nostalgia. And then after that, I'm just like, all right, I'm done with it.
Yeah, I've seen your frustrations that you had, and the thing is, I know how to solve those frustrations, but I also don't want to spoil it for you. So it's.
I'll eventually figure it out, but yeah.
Yeah, I do understand them because I encountered the same problem, except for the triangle thing, like the buttons. I didn't have that, so. I don't know where that's coming from.
There was one part of the game where I had to open a door, and I sat there. I kid you not. I sat there for 2 minutes. I couldn't get centered on this little pedestal, so I had to walk across the room, line myself up, and slow walk to this pedestal. So and I'm like, are you serious right now?
Yeah, that is so weird, because you're also played it on, well, of course, everybody's played it on PlayStation 4, what am I saying? Yeah, I didn't have that trouble, those troubles, so I don't know where that's coming from, but...
like, I literally have to mash triangle M around those things just to get Cloud to center on them.
Yeah.
And I'm just like... I'm just slowly losing my mind, like doing this really tedious stuff like that.
Yeah, the ladders and the climbing in this game are, like, could it?
It's so slow.
Yeah,
like,
I don't know why, but yeah, I mean, you can get past that, but it must be very frustrating if the actual prop doesn't work correctly. I don't know, but yeah, the other frustration I saw you had were like the
combat. The combat is just garbage.
Yeah, like you had troubles with spells getting cancelled, ATB of the AI not filling up, and something else I don't remember it. And again, I have the solutions for that, but yeah, I don't want to spoil it, but yeah, it gets solved, I guess, as soon as you figure it out.
Yeah, I'm sure. Like by the time you tuned in, I was already at like peak frustration
I could see
with the game too. So like by the time you tuned in, and I was going through wherever I was going through, I was already just peak frustration, ready to like, snap the disc in half at that point.
It was noticeable.
Yeah, I was not enjoying life at the end of the stream this morning, but like I said, like I'm probably I won't stream it this weekend at all because I got a D-Rust for Retrothon tomorrow, but so I'll have a 2-day break from it and I'll go with a bit of a more fresh brain, so that'll help out a bit.
Yeah, I've been learning that with quite a few games lately as well, that I sometimes just need to stop playing because nothing good is gonna happen anymore. And speaking of having to stop a game because of getting frustrated, this week's episode, or this week's game, or this month's game, I guess. Oh boy,
Dude,
do I have some
watching your
thoughts
frustration
about
play this game was amazing.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, outside of that, a lot of TV. I think I'm on season 20 of South Park now.
Almost got up.
I've watched all 8 episodes of Letterkenny. I've watched season 3 of Castlevania. I think I'm in. By the way, season 3 Castlevania is weird.
Yeah, I keep forgetting about it.
It walks a pretty fine line, but it's very weird. And I'm on like season 5 or 6 of Always Sunny. So I've watched a crap ton of TV since being a lockdown.
Yeah, I'm doing the same. Like, there's no better time to catch up to series and things like that because you can't do anything else anyways.
Really
the thing is, I do also follow a lot of channels on YouTube, and they are making longer episodes because, well, to entertain people. So yeah, it's kind of hard to find the good balance between those. But yeah, I'm getting through some series I wanted to watch for quite a while, and yeah, that's one good thing that comes out of the entire situation we're in, I guess.
Yeah, I'm definitely behind on YouTube series. Like, I'm definitely behind on Gaming Historian stuff and Jesse Cox stuff. So
yeah, Yeah, Jesse Cox is one of them I watch as well, and like I've been watching his Control playthrough, and those are 1 hour episodes, of course, and then Scary Game Squad is also 1 hour episodes. So it's
That Control game looks cool, but I don't know.
yeah. I think we talked about this last episode as well. I want it so bad, but the problem is the price won't drop for console versions, and the console version just doesn't run that great. So I don't want to pay full price for it. No.
I mean, it's a game that like I wouldn't pay full price for regardless, because it's just a game that I would play for like 10 hours and then I'd never touch it again.
Oh, there's a lot to it though. So
Yeah, I get bored really easy though.
Yeah, I would completely dive into that game and get everything. It looks so much fun. It's so great, and yeah. I don't want to pay €60 for it for a not so great version, and I'm not playing it on PC.
Right.
There's no way in a word I can say on this stream.
Your hatred to PC gaming is phenomenal.
Yeah, and I have a great PC, by the way, so it should run completely. And it's the same, I can use my controller and everything, and yet I just do not want to do it. I don't know why.
I'm the same way.
No.
I'm the same way, because my reason for me is streaming. Like, I don't mind playing PC games if I'm not streaming, which is very rarely.
Mm-hmm.
But if I'm not streaming, I'll play PC games, no problem.
Yeah.
But if I'm streaming, I hate playing computer games, because a lot of times I like to have a bunch of different windows open while I'm streaming.
Yeah.
Some of them to see like how far into the game I am, just so I know like estimately like how many more streams I have left of the game. I have my Twitch chat open. I have OBS open. I have various other things open. Sometimes I like to click around in those windows to see what's going on. And if I'm playing it on PC, if I'm streaming a PC game, a lot of times when you alt-tab out of a game, the screen will go black on your stream, your audio will get cut, like things get kind of weird and janky. It's just way easier to stream a console game than it is a PC game if you're a single PC streamer. So I prefer to do everything on console.
Yep. Yeah. Yeah, for me, I think it's just because I never grew up with a PC. Like, the first one I had was when I was 16, and I used it for schoolwork, and that's pretty much it. And MSN, I guess, back in those days, for people who still know MSN.
God,
So
Hotmail.
yeah, I used those things, but I was never a PC gamer, except for Battlefield 2 I played on PC, Medal of Honor, Allied Assault I played on PC, and let me think, I played StarCraft 2 for a little bit, and League of Legends. Those are like the 4 games I played for, and I wouldn't say even long time, because I didn't clock more than 100 hours into any of those, to be fair, but yeah, those are like the only PC games that I ever played. And if it's only on Steam, I will get it on Steam, like, that's fine by me. But if I know that there is a console version either coming out or already is one, I'll just go with the console one, even if it runs
That's how I am.
more crappy, like Control, for instance. Like, they still haven't fixed any of it, which is kind of sad. And yeah, that I don't want to pay €60 for it. I just don't.
And that's in a lot of cases too. Like, a lot of people are just like I played the Assassin's Creed series on console, and like I started Assassin's Creed Syndicate on Xbox One, and the performance was pretty god awful visible. And then I grabbed it for PS4, and it was slightly better, but it still had its issues. And everyone's just like, why don't you just play the PC version? And I'm like, well, the PC version's a port from the consoles, and typically they're worse.
Yeah.
Let's look at Saints Row, all of them, real quick. So, because I've played Saints Row on PC and on console, and I'd much rather play it on console. The PC ports are terrible for that game. So yeah, I mean, it's just a lot. And a lot of it too comes down to preference. Like, some people are just PC master race, this, and I'm just like, I really don't care. I'm gonna play whatever's convenient for me. So
yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I hate the PC master race bullshit. Like,
yeah,
if there's some things that really piss me off, it's one of those things. Like, oh, you're a scum because you play on console. Like, PC is so much better. It's also so much cheaper, which is... I'm not gonna drop another F-bomb. Which is complete garbo, in my opinion, because you have to upgrade your computer every 5 years as well to be able to keep up with the games. It's just as costly as consoles.
Do you? I have... Most of the components of my computer... Well, this computer's 2 years old. Mm-hmm. The old computer I had was 10 years old. And it ran literally every game that I played on high, no problem. I have yet to run into a PC game to really like push my computer. Because like all the games now that are coming out they're changing like the way that they do things. Like they're so like some AAA titles just like simplifying a lot of their stuff, or like I just play a lot of indie games like Celeste, and
like those
Layers of Fear and stuff, and like those don't crush my computer at all. No. Like it's not like I'm playing Crysis in 2001 again.
Yeah,
like,
yeah, but it's definitely like, let's say a good computer can last you for 10 years, but a console costs half the price of it. If even, like, it's usually only 1/3 of the price of a very good computer. And those come out every 6-7 years, so in the end, it's really just the same. I think the price tag statement of it is, it's just ridiculous. It doesn't sync well with me.
And during that 6 and 7 year lifespan, there's different versions of that console coming out too. And as time progresses, like that console's actually getting cheaper as well too. So like it starts off at say $600, and then like 2 or 3 years later, there's a slim version. And 2 or 3 years later, there's another version coming out, like the Pro version or the Elite version, whatever it may be. And then that means like the price tags are just varying. So like now, I bought my Xbox One, which is a Minecraft edition, but it's just a white Xbox One. That's all it is. Xbox One S. I bought it on Black Friday for $150.
Yeah.
So I mean, like, and that was 2 or 3 years ago.
Yeah.
Like Xbox is announcing the new release this year. They've already announced the new console, but they're saying that it's going to get released this holiday season, which we'll see if it happens. But
doubtful.
I mean, like, but I mean, like $150, $200 for an Xbox One S. Like, it's not the X, but like I can still play the games perfectly fine on it. It's still an Xbox One. Like the whole like console war thing too just drives me insane. So it's like PlayStation, Xbox. It's like, listen, they both got the pros and cons. All right, PlayStation has really nice single player exclusives. While I hate the interface of PlayStation, I love Xbox's interface a lot. But Xbox's games, to me, kind of shake me the wrong way because now I can just play them on my computer. So, like, what's the point of me having an Xbox besides of having the convenience of being able to play on a TV or to stream easier? So, yeah, I don't know. The whole console war thing just upsets me, too.
Yeah, but, like, it was bigger 10 years ago or even before that. Now, it's all the same. You don't hear that much about it anymore. And the same between PC and console. Like, the fuzz between those two types of people, I guess, has simmered down a lot as well. But there are still people who claim that the PC is the go-to thing to do anything in your life on. And yeah, I don't know. Like, me as a console gamer, I never in my life said, oh, you suck because you play on PC. It was always the PC people that said, you suck because you play on console. I was like, why though? Like, I don't get where you're coming from. Like,
I was definitely at one point in time a pure PC gamer. Like, I played everything on PC. But I can't think of, like, during that time, me, like, shaming a console player at all. Because, like, if I would play console as well, too. Like, I still played PS2 back then.
Yeah.
Like, I still played Xbox if I was playing, if I was playing Halo. Like, I still did all that, but I just primarily played on PC. It's just like, all right, bud. Like, you're still playing on console. I understand what you're doing.
Yeah, absolutely.
But, yeah, so now all this rage is built up. Now we can get into today's episode. So, unfortunately, due to COVID-19, this movie is now postponed for release. But Mo and I we dove into Top Gun: Guts and Glory for the Game Boy. I chose this game because Top Gun was supposed to come out in May of 2020. Top Gun 2, the movie, was supposed to come out in May of 2020. But that is now postponed, which is really unfortunate. But I still got to hear Mo love this game from his heart, so well worth it. So stay tuned, and when we come back, we'll deep dive into Top Gun: Guts and Glory.
I'd say it was the right time to walk away when dreaming takes you nowhere. It's time to play.
All right, welcome back, everybody. So, Top Gun: Guts and Glory, January 1993. What a time to be alive.
Was it though? I don't know. This is probably gonna be the most.
This is gonna be a very divided.
That's the word I was looking for. Divisive episode.
This is going to be a very divided opinion podcast because Mo absolutely despised this game, calling it the worst game he's ever played.
Yes, absolutely.
And I actually really enjoyed this game. Not the greatest game I've ever played, but not the worst game I've ever played. But I did not have any problems with it, and I actually kind of enjoyed it in the end.
Yeah, we'll definitely dive into that when we get to our host history. With this, history. For now, we're just gonna concentrate on what the game is and how you play it and things like that. I'm not gonna give my subjective opinion about it at all. I'm really just gonna concentrate on the game itself. So we'll get to that later. But yeah, this came out in January 1993, which is kind of surprising. I don't know when Top Gun for NES came out. Well, definitely way before this. But
99 or late 80s, early 90s.
Definitely the late 80s, I believe. But Top Gun the movie was actually from 86, so still releasing a Top Gun game that's 7 years after the movie is kind of weird in my opinion, but yeah.
I mean, they released a Top Gun game on PS3 as well.
That is true. But yeah, it's weird that this movie's influence lasted so long, especially during that period. Like, I know that a lot of people love the movie for sure, but it's usually not that late that they still make games for this. Again, if you're making a flight simulator or something similar, why not use Top Gun if you have the license to it? Because a lot of people know the name, of course. So it could be just a branding thing at this point.
Yeah, the game has nothing to do with the movie. Top Gun is actually a real program for the U.S. Navy. For those of you that don't know that. For those of you that just think Top Gun's a movie title, no. Top Gun is an actual program for Navy fighter jet pilots. So it's a real thing. So, but a little bit on Distinctive Software. They're actually a Canadian video game developer. They defuncted in 1991 and were acquired by EA, Electronic Arts, for $10 million. So, but you would be astonished at what these people developed. Castlevania for the DOS.
The preferred version, of course.
Metal Gear published by Ultra Games for the Commodore
I
64.
did not know that was a thing. Why did I not know that was a thing?
Mission Impossible, published by Konami on DOS. They did a lot of DOS, by the way.
Yeah.
They did a lot of DOS games. Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles and the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Manhattan missions from Konami and Ultra for the DOS. They did a lot with Konami and Accolade.
Yeah,
So
it's weird. Like, I don't know what a Commodore 64 is exactly. I don't think that's ever got released here, but
like a computer,
yeah,
basically. Think of like an MSX, but Americanized,
yeah,
basically.
Because I see they made a lot for DOS, they made a lot for Commodore 64, they made a lot for Amiga even. Those are, like, in my mind at least, the Atari ST, those are basically computers. Like, so they did a lot of work.
Yeah, I'd agree with you.
Yeah, and
The only Game Boy game they did was
this one. Yeah. Yeah. Weird. But I did not know there was a Metal Gear for Commodore 64, and now I want to play it.
I didn't know that either, honestly. I had no idea.
Yeah, guess we'll have to dive into that one sometime.
But this game here, so I actually have the credits right here of all the people's names that worked on this game.
Okay.
Dave Davis, Chris Lippman, Dave Warfield, and Don Matrick were the designers of Top Gun. The art was done by Jackie Ritchie, programmed by Chris Lippman and Doug Smith. You're going to hear a lot of repeat names. Music by Traz
Danji, I think. He forms a team with another a team, a band, I guess, or like they are called the Humble Brothers, but it was only Traz Danji, I believe that's you pronounce it.
It has an M in the credits in the game.
Yeah, so he worked on the sounds that this game produces. So let me just say it like that.
And then development producer was Dave Davis. So it's actually kind of cool that we actually have names to put to this game. So, and published by Konami. So I think all of the Top Gun games were published by Konami.
Yeah, Konami had the license for Top Gun, so I guess they released the game in 1993 just to so they could keep the license to the.
Gotta have it on the Game Boy, man.
Yeah.
And yeah, the composer's Traz, last name. But you were talking about he made a band, quote unquote band.
Yeah, it's an electronic music duo. You can't call it a band. Like, I'm sorry, electronic music producers, but you are not a band. Yeah, I guess you could call them DJs. I don't know what you call. Well, they're a music duo. There we go. So yeah, they're a Canadian music duo consisting of the actual Canadian Ken Marshall, and then Traz Damji. He's actually born in Tanzania. Is that even a country?
Oh,
Tanzania. Tanzania, you pronounce it in English, I guess.
I think that country's still around.
Yeah, it's definitely an African country. But yeah, they formed the Humble Brothers. They worked together with EA a lot for Need for Speed, for example. They also did some things for SimCity. So yeah. But apparently they also worked together for a remix of One Step Closer by Linkin Park. And they did the soundtrack of Batman Beyond Return of the Joker. Oh no, that's one song that got produced for that.
I kind of want to hear that Linkin Park song.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think it's from... Yeah, I definitely have that album. It's that one album where they're all remixes.
Meteora? Because Hybrid 3 was the first one, so I think Meteora was the next one.
It's basically all remixes of their first album. I know.
I definitely have that CD then.
So they should be on there.
Huh. Interesting. Well, alright. plot. So again, like I said earlier, this game is in no correlation really to the movie at all. It's just it's just a game that says Top Gun. But pulling it right out of the back of the box, though, because there's really no plot to this game per se.
And also no available manual, sadly.
Yeah, I actually don't own a manual for this game.
Yeah.
It was
Somebody
really weird that I didn't own
sent
one.
me a link in chat when I was streaming it, and it's like €15, and I was like, yeah, no.
Yeah, I'm not going to spend $15 on a manual. But, so the plot from the back of the box, when you could look at back of the boxes back in the day, can your Game Boy stand 40,000 pounds of thrust? Thrust meaning, the thruster. Get your head out of the gutter.
Totally.
Listeners. Ignite the afterburners and go ballistic into the most realistic air combat simulation to break the Game Boy sound barrier. It breaks something.
It breaks something with the sound, but I'm not sure it's the barrier.
An incredible first-person perspective that puts you under the canopy and into the cockpit. That's actually true. Strap on your G-force restraints and choose between 4 of your superpower's premier first airstrike aircraft. F-14 Tomcat, USSR MiG-29 Fulcrum, F-16 Falcon, or the F-117A Stealth Fighter. I thought there were only 3 choices. Maybe there were 4.
I think 3.
I think there's only 3 choices.
I think
the Tomcat, the MiG, and the Stealth Fighter.
Yeah.
I don't think the F-16 was available.
No, unless you unlock it after you beat the game or something like that.
Maybe, yeah. Equip your Warbird with armor-piercing shells for close combat in either heat-seeking Sidewinder or radar-guided Sparrow missiles. 10 increasingly dangerous air combat sorties?
I think that's how you pronounce it in English, but it comes from the French sortie, which is like, yeah. You can't translate that word, that's the problem.
Dumb. Or bombing missions that pit you against speed-blistering bogies and convoys of warships protected by air support. Again, true. Choose the career mode to catapult into the covert assignments that push you to the edge of the sky. Again, true. Success will bring you promotion and medals. Fail, your only mark in the world will be a fiery contrail spiraling down to a cold ocean floor. So there you go. That's Top Gun in a nutshell. Yeah. Top Gun Game Boy in a nutshell. Yeah, so gameplay.
Oh boy.
So before we dive into the actual gameplay, the game offers actually a pretty in-depth menu to choose from. You can have a career mode. You could have let's see here. You can have a career mode. You could do
like air combat simulation training, I guess.
Yeah.
Bombing training? Is that the other one?
Something like that. Yeah, you can do bombing, aircraft. You can do the career. There's one other one I can't remember off the top of my head. Then you choose again. So I'm just looking at my playthrough now. I only had 3 choices for planes.
Yeah.
And then you get to choose your types of missiles, your 20 heat seeking or your 20 radar guided. I preferred the heat seeking.
I prefer the radar guided ones. They always seem to hit for me, whereas the heat seeking missile just went flying and then I couldn't shoot another one until 5 minutes later, till it finally disappeared from my screen.
That's fair, yeah. I'm trying to get to the. But anyway, so once you go in, you've chosen your plane. You get to choose your missiles, and then you kind of get to choose a difficulty. Here it is. So,
it's just set on A's, and I couldn't change it. So, because I was seeing if I was maybe playing on a too high difficulty. I'll get into that later. But I can't change it from Ace, so...
Yeah, I couldn't change it either, but it was an option to, hover over, so I'm assuming there's something going on with that. Yeah. But so I finally found a point in my playthrough. The 4 choices on the main menu is your career, your air combat, bombing run and a flight log.
Yeah.
But your air combat starts off at 1. Your bombing run starts off at 1. So you actually get to progress. I don't know how many levels there are with that. Probably 10, 5 to 10, I'd assume.
No idea.
So once you're only gonna choose career. Let's just put it that way. You're gonna pick career. You're gonna pick your plane, pick your missiles. Whatever ace is, difficulty, whatever. Then there's types of controls.
Reverse or normal controls.
Yeah, inverted or normal. And then it's going to go into mission objective, which is 2 enemy aircraft spotted heading 000, splash them and return to base.
Yep.
It's just telling you like how many enemies basically to kill per mission. And then after you've completed the mission, you can see your plane landing on the aircraft carrier. And then
luckily
you get promoted.
Unlike
you don't have
the
to land
NES
them.
version, you don't have to actually land your plane or anything. No.
I didn't have a problem landing the plane. So.
I never played it. I only see people struggle with it. So.
Oh man, you're in for a treat. You should play it sometime.
Yeah, I think I'm.
And then play second mission after that.
Yeah, I think I'm good. I think I'm good with Top Gun games.
If you thought the Game Boy version was really good, you'd really like second mission then.
Yeah.
So gameplay, actual gameplay. So when you're actually in the cockpit flying around, you have a lot of different things kind of going on at once. In the top, I just randomly clicked a finish mission, part of my playthrough. The top left corner, you have your missile count. In the middle, I believe it was how close you were, how many enemies you had left, I think.
Nah, the middle thing is the heading or the latitude or longitude. Like, that's the...
Oh, yeah,
that's where you need to
you're right.
fly your plane to get where the enemies are and should spawn. The thing is, like, they spawn immediately at the start of the game and you start somewhere completely far out of the way, so you have to fly there, and before you even reach that part, you have to maneuver so much around them that you're completely off that position again, or that heading, or whatever they want to call it. Which is a problem in later levels, because
Yes.
in the first one you only have to take out 2 planes. Okay, bam, you got him, it's over. But in the other stages, they keep on spawning in new planes, but they spawn at that heading. So unless you're really there, you're supposed to stay there and take them down immediately. But if you're chasing other planes, you are like so far out of the way, you have to fly back, and it gets pretty messy, at least in later stages for that.
Yep. And then the top right is a bunch of numbers, which is your distance away from the nearest plane.
As far as I could figure out, it is.
As far as I could figure out as well too. Bottom left, you have a thruster knob that typically sits in the center.
Yeah.
If you push it up, you go faster. If you pull it all the way down, you slow down. And the center is your radar, where you have your black dot right in the center, which is you, and then you're gonna have like these blinking blocks coming around you, which is the enemy aircraft. And then the bottom right corner is your altitude gauge. So
is it though?
I think it is.
I guess I still have literally no clue what that thing is.
I'm pretty sure it's an altitude gauge.
Okay. Yeah, it could be. Like, I don't know. That is a thing about not having the manual. I'm sure it's explained in there, but yeah, there's no scanning.
I never crashed into the ground.
Me neither.
In my playthrough, but
yeah.
You definitely have to use your imagination as well too, because some of the times if you don't see the sun right away and you start to like barrel roll and flip, you'll get really disoriented in the game. So at that point you're just like, is the darker part of is the dark half of the screen the ground or the sky? And then you'll see like this circle with prongs coming off of it, like a Gordo from Kirby. You're like, okay, I think that's the sun, so that must be the sky. And yeah, it can get a little disorienting when you start flipping and spinning around, which you will do in the game. Like, it is a dogfighting simulator. Like, you will spin and flip around. So yeah, as you go and fly towards your objective, planes are going to start appearing. If you've ever played Top Gun for the NES, it's actually really similar to that in that when a plane is in your visual window, there's going to be a little bit of a square that goes around it eventually once you center up on it. From there, you can either shoot your machine gun or you can launch a missile at it. If an enemy comes behind you and locks onto you, you're going to hear the lock-on sound. It's like a bleep noise on you. And that means you need to start getting a little crazy with your dogfighting skills. A lot of times, what I found for me, a lot of times, if I just slow down, if I pull the thrusters all the way down, they just flew right past me, and I can just shoot them.
Yeah.
Otherwise, in later stages, I had to start doing flips and barrel rolls and hard banks and everything else. But
yeah, like the thing with this game is there's no music or anything when you're playing the game. The only thing you hear is basically a constant sound, which signifies how fast you're going, even though you can also see it, of course, with the throttle that you have on your display. And there are beeps in this game. Very, very, very annoying beeps in this game.
Yes.
One is your lock on another plane, and the other is the lockdown from other planes on you. They almost sound exactly the same, sadly. So you get used to the one you always hear, but the problem is after a while they just come in and come out at the same time and go all over the place, and you have no real idea what's going on anymore. At least that was what happened to me. And the only thing you see on your actual radar are the planes. You don't see anything else on the radar. Like, you don't see if they're shooting at you. You don't see if they're using missiles or anything. You just have to rely on that beeping sound. But the problem is they overlap each other and you don't know what's going on at all anymore. So that is one of the issues I definitely have with this game. I'll definitely get back more into that later. But yeah, it's kind of hard to know what's going on because, first of all, everything looks the same in this game. It's ground, sky, you can see a sun, maybe a little cloud flies by every once in a while, and that's it. Like, there's no other graphics in this game at all.
Yeah, it's a very simplistic game. There's no textures. It's solid colors with blocks. Like, it can almost be an Atari game.
Yeah.
That how simple the actual game is. But going back to your point about not seeing like the rockets and stuff on your radar, like you don't even see that in real life. At least not back then. You didn't.
Okay. Yeah.
You just knew like when someone locked onto you, like you were shaking. Like that's all you were doing. Like you had no idea if someone was launched a missile or where the rocket was in conjunction to you, unless it flew past the window of the cockpit. So
yeah, I can definitely understand that, but like what they do in this game is if you are almost lined up with a plane right in front of you to lock on, you get these little arrows on the screen which show you where you need to fly to lock onto them. I feel like if they were using that for you to lock onto an enemy, they could also signify that in some similar way to you, so you at least know what was going on behind you or even in front of you. And this is something else I ran into, especially, like, I'll get into it, but I made it to stage 8. And like, I understand that, like, okay, I have to take these planes down, but of course they can shoot me, so I have to dodge. Which makes a lot of sense if the planes are behind me, because then they have the ability to shoot at me, of course. And this is a problem I kept running into over and over again, and I have no idea how. I do my best to maneuver behind them. I can see the 2 planes literally in front of me. I shoot them down. Nothing has spawned yet. And I get hit with a missile, which I think I get hit with a missile because the game doesn't tell you. You just die. And I don't know if I don't understand the game, but if there is no plane behind me, there's nothing that could shoot me, so why do I keep dying in that case? So yeah, I the game could have done some things to signify, look, this is what happened, so you know how to avoid it the next time, and sadly it does not at all, so...
Yeah, I definitely wish... it did a bit better with missile detection, like coming at you. Mm-hmm. Like if you played Top Gun 1, like you're flying into planes, right? Mm-hmm. So like you can see like the missiles coming at you.
Yeah.
This game, like they can shoot at you head on. Just it can't happen if they're flying towards you and you're flying towards them.
Absolutely.
They can definitely shoot at you, but you can't see stuff happening until it's way too late. I can relate to that a little bit. I have had that happen to me a couple times in the game.
Like
where like you're flying towards it because the way the game tries to render sprites is the further away you are from them, the smaller they are. But it doesn't render them quick enough to where like as you're approaching them, it gets bigger and bigger and bigger. It doesn't do that quick enough as when they shoot their missile at you. You can't see that missile until like it's literally in your face, and at that point, like you just can't get away from it. So,
yeah, I definitely run into like planes coming at me and shooting at me. Then I get it. But if I'm like the radar is there to show you like the planes are in front of you and you are behind them because you can see. It's hard to see, but you can see the difference between the front of a plane and the back of a plane in the game. If they're close enough. So I can clearly see both planes in front of me, both their jet streams in front of me. I shoot both down, and then I get hit. And there's nothing else on the screen. And yeah, I don't know. That maybe I'm dumb. It could be, but like that didn't make any sense to me. So,
but yeah, so. It's again like if you've ever played a flight simulator from the early 90s, you're playing a flight simulator from the early 90s. It doesn't cater to anything at all. Like it's very, very, very bare bones flight simulator where you can go faster, slower, up, down, sideways. You can do flips. That's really the extent of it. There's no landing sequence. There's no launching sequence. There's no refueling sequence. Like, there's none of that at all.
No.
Once you've taken out all of your enemies in the mission objective, the mission ends and it shows your plane landing on an aircraft carrier, and it gives you a high score screen with a password and a promotion to whatever the next promotion it is that you were getting.
Yeah. Indeed. Yeah, that's pretty much all there is to the actual gameplay, really. Like, get behind or in front of other planes and try to shoot them down.
Shoot them.
They do offer, if you can call it, variety. There's 2 types of missions. Most of them consist of just the normal, you have to head to heading whatever and take down the bandits or rogues or whatever they want to call them. And then there are other missions where they say, like, there's a convoy and you have to escort the convoy and take down the planes that try to attack them. Those are the easiest because you just have to go to the heading and keep flying straight ahead. Like, there's nothing else you have to do. After a while, a plane will show up, you shoot it down, you keep flying. And you're always behind them, so they can never shoot you. Like, it's the dumbest kind of stage there ever existed. But yeah, that works fine. It's just the other missions, and that's most of them, are the actual, like, dogfights in the sky.
Yep. And you can only have 2 planes on the screen at once, so you'll never be overloaded. But some of the times catching those 2 planes can be a little troublesome.
Yeah, absolutely.
There's a trick to the game is that once you can figure out where the planes spawn, you can just shoot them as they spawn in.
Yeah.
Which is super helpful late game.
Mm-hmm.
But as soon as those planes get out of your control, it is a video game at that point, and you are fighting to stay alive at that point.
Yeah, absolutely.
But yeah, that's the game. And then once you've completed all 10 missions, it's just a little cutscene at the end of showing the Top Gun Navy fighters, and one person steps forward and gets saluted. And you assume that one person is you, and that's the ending. Like that's it. It's congratulations, you're the Top Gun instructor. You get to step forward, you get saluted, and it's done. That's the video game.
No.
That's the ending. So
sadly, I have not been able to see that yet.
So out of the two of us, I beat the game in a little over 3 hours. Moe is like 4 hours into the game and can't get past stage 8. So.
I think it took me like 20 minutes. I guess it's kind of diving into the history with the game. Let's just pull it in, I guess. So I never played this game before. I also never saw Top Gun before. I actually saw it yesterday for the very first time, I think. Was it today? No, it was yesterday. So I have no history at all with anything Top Gun related. The only thing I did see is Hot Shots, which is the parody of Top Gun, and that's one of my favorite movies of all time. So I kind of knew about it, but I'd never seen the original one. And to be honest, now that I've seen the original one, there's not much story to that movie. It's a 2-hour movie almost, and there actually is not that much going on in it. Whereas in Hot Shots, there's like betrayal and things like that, and way better love scenes for some reason than in Top Gun. I don't know. I saw it and I was like, I just want to go watch Hot Shots again because that was a way better movie. I didn't hate the movie, by the way. It's a fine movie, but it's if I've seen it or I didn't see it, it doesn't really matter to me. I love the soundtrack though. Like, I've always loved the soundtrack. I've knew that since I was little, and I'm a huge 80s rock and whatever, actually pop as well, fan. So I absolutely love this soundtrack. But yeah, this was my first time actually experiencing this game, and I haven't played that many flight simulators either. It's like totally not my genre. But it took me, I would say, 20 minutes to beat the first 3 stages. And then I got into a little bit of trouble. Like, I didn't understand what was going on in the game anymore. So it took me like half an hour to figure it out, that like I had to go to that heading and I had to do this and that to take down the planes. And then it went super smoothly up until mission 8. I think I hit mission 8 like an hour and 15 minutes in total. And I was like, oh, we're almost done. This is going to take like 2 hours or something in total, and it will be over forever, and I never have to play this, whatever it's called. Definitely not a game again. And I've been stuck on mission 8 for over 3 hours now. I cannot beat it at all. I looked at a playthrough on YouTube, which is one of those long plays, and I've said it before, I always think these long plays, like without commentary, without anything, are literally TASes, or in some way using Game Shark codes or something like that and pretending to be an actual playthrough, because it's also called a no death run, and he calls himself No Death, and I don't trust those things at all. But I did watch his video, and what he does, he did exactly the same as me. I start the stage, I turn around, I go to the heading, I do a loop, I guess it's called, like a backflip in real life, but with your plane. he gets behind those first two planes. He shoots them down. He stays on the same heading. A plane spawns in, shoots it down, pulls up because apparently a missile is coming, probably because those planes are coming towards you. So he flies over, it goes down again, and he keeps doing that over and over again, and that finishes the entire mission. I was like, wow, that looks simple enough. I tried to do it. First time I tried it, it worked perfectly fine. Until like the 7th plane I shot down, then I suddenly got hit. And I was like, well, I know how to do it now, so I'll just do it again. Never worked again. It just doesn't work at all anymore. So yeah, I've been super frustrated with it because what I said earlier, the two planes are in front of me, flying away from me, I shoot them down and I get hit by a missile. Which makes no sense because they can't shoot missiles backwards, so I just can't get past it. I thought it was maybe a ROM problem. I don't have another ROM, so I can't check it out. I don't have an actual copy of this game. But I tried it on my Super Game Boy, I tried it on my Game Boy Advance, I tried it on my original Game Boy. I just cannot get past stage 8. Either I die within the first 10 seconds, or it takes me half an hour to even find the plane. I shoot 3 of them down, and then suddenly I get hit again. And I was like looking through my videos of it, my recordings of it, to see what I was maybe doing wrong. Sometimes I can hear the beep, which means the lock on is on you. So I would assume I get hit by a missile. I can understand that. But sometimes there is no sound at all, and I die without anything, and yeah, I can't do it. I sadly had to throw in the towel for now because after almost 4.5 hours, I just couldn't do it. It's really weird.
It's fair.
You know?
It's fair. I'll get into my thoughts later.
Yeah.
Cover art from Tom DuBois.
Yeah, Dubois.
Dubois.
Yeah, it's probably also a Canadian, I'm assuming. But yeah, he did a lot of covers for a lot of different games. Like, for instance, the crowd favorite Blades of Steel. Love Blades of Steel. Castlevania Bloodlines. Radical Rescue
3.
for Game Boy. Axelay, also very well known. Contra 3, The Alien Wars, one of them. Turtles in Time, he did. Belmont's Revenge for Game Boy, he did. Operation C, like, he has done amazing covers, actually.
Snake's Revenge.
Oh yeah, there we go.
Top Gun Secret Mission. CV3, CV4, CV2. Wow. Operation C. The Legend of the Mystical Ninja. Mission Impossible. That's actually a really hard NES game. Super Contra. Wow. Yeah. A lot of big titles too.
For Konami.
Sunset Riders. Yeah,
all Konami games. But yeah, he has done a lot, and I love his covers, to be honest. Like, they're
even this one's really good.
Absolutely.
It's I mean it's think of Battleship but with a F-16 on it, basically.
Or 14 or whatever it is. I don't know, planes.
16. So the background is the ocean, and then in the more foreground of that is some battleships and a couple planes. You can see bullets and tracers being shot all around. You can see that some of the ships in the background are on fire, smoking. There's some explosions in the air. You can see some of the missiles being shot out from the boats. As we get more closer to the foreground, we have a couple of variety of different planes going on. We have an F-16 kind of on bank right now. We have another plane way off in the background. I'm just going to call it a MiG because it's Top Gun, and that's what Top Gun was all about. And then in the foreground, like what's up in your face, is another F-16 fighter jet shooting a rocket from its left wing, and then at the very top you can see Konami in the top left corner in white font, and then towards the center-ish, a little bit down from that, is the Top Gun logo with Guts and Glory. Right below that, with the Top Gun airship logo above that as well too. It's actually a very well organized and a very well done cover.
Yeah, I like it. I like it a lot. Like, I'm not even into like airplanes or fighting planes or anything like that, but it's a really cool looking cover. I like the blue. Yeah, I don't know. I like the blue a lot.
I like everything about it. I've always liked this cover.
Yeah, it's a great cover for a sadly not great game at all. But yeah, if you want to check out more about Tom Dubois, actually, and I'll put a link if I don't forget. I'm just gonna put it in the notes so I don't forget. There's a what do you call it? A documentary on his work on YouTube, which you can watch for free. So I'll make sure to put that in, because we usually do not get an artist name for all these covers, so it's actually super interesting that this exists. So yeah, and they call him the man who drew Konami. So yeah, that says more than enough, I think.
Trivia. There's no trivia. It's not related to Top Gun at all. It's just the movie. It's just more so related to the actual program.
Yeah.
General reception.
Yep, the highest rating I found for this game was a 5 out of 10, which is a lot, actually.
Which is passing. All right.
Yeah, but most of them were like 2 out of 10 or something like that. Because, yeah, sadly, it's like, even like my problem is probably still not completely understanding the mechanics, and I think the manual would help me out. So if anybody could give me a scan of the manual, I would really appreciate it. But even then, if I would understand it and if I would not have any real troubles beating it, there's just not enough. Like, there's even less than in Harvest Moon Game Boy. So there's nothing to do in this game, sadly.
Yeah, there's not much. That's for sure.
Yeah.
Not much. So, yeah, when we come back, I'll give you my thoughts of the game, which are very different than most. So, stay tuned for that.
Revving up your engine, listen to her howling roar. Metal under tension, begging you to touch and go. Highway to the danger zone. Right into the danger zone. Heading into twilight, spreading out her wings tonight. She got you jumping off the track, shoving into overdrive. Highway to the danger zone. I'll take you right into the danger zone.
Alright, welcome back, everybody. So, Mo gave his thoughts.
Yeah, pretty much. Like, I don't have that much to add. Like, I did write the joke down here that after playing this game, I tried to make a time machine to go back in time and made sure this game was never made. But it sadly ended up in the movie getting a sequel now, so that's kind of weird. And watching the movie actually gave me PTSD about playing the game. So. Well, yeah, that's
especially when Viper locks on the Maverick at that one point.
Yeah, it wasn't fun. It wasn't fun. And sadly, I'm not done with this game because I do have to beat it one time.
You gotta beat it still.
So no, I will have to go back to it. So.
I somewhat enjoyed the game. I hated the sound effects and all of the audio for this game. And I think eventually in my playthrough, I muted my game. in my headphones. I think I eventually just turned the sound off of my headphones. Because I got to the point where I couldn't get enemies to lock onto me anymore.
Yeah.
Until stage 9. I started having a lot of trouble with stage 9. But eventually, I think the first 2 hours of my playthrough, I just don't have sound on because I cannot stand listening to the sound effects in this game. If you've played Top Gun 1 and or 2 on the NES, Top Gun for the Game Boy is actually very similar to both of them combined. So I guess I had a little bit of an edge to Moe playing Top Gun on Game Boy, simply because I've probably beat Top Gun 1 on NES 20, 30 times. I've beaten Top Gun 2 on NES probably 10 or 15 times. So I definitely had Top Gun under my belt, some Top Gun experience under my belt. And I've also played the PS3 version as well too. I own the PS3 version, so I definitely have played a lot of Top Gun, watched a lot of Top Gun in my life as well too. But I also played a lot of flight simulators when I was a kid. So joystick flight simulators like the Microsoft Flight Sims, some of the dogfighting sims, like the early '90s flight simulators, Battlefield 1942, Battlefield 2. Things like that. I've done a lot of just flying and jet fighting and stuff in video games before. So diving into Top Gun Game Boy, simplicity aside, I was pretty comfortable playing the game once I understood the mechanics of the game. My bar for the game was pretty low to go into, simply because it is an early '90s game. Early '90s Top Gun game, and having played Top Gun 1 and 2, those games are not great. So I was like, well, this game is probably going to be on par, if not worse, than the NES games. So my bar was set pretty low. I honestly didn't have much of a problem with the game. I kind of enjoyed it. It was slow. It is slightly below mediocre. It is boring at times because all you get to hear is brrr for 3 hours while you're flying to a point to shoot some enemies down. But this game was game 115 or 117 for Game Boy Adventure for me, so fairly early on.
Yeah.
And I did it. I knocked it down in about 3 hours, 3 hours 15 minutes, I think it was. I got up to stage 8 in an hour and a half. Knocked down stage 8 first try. Yeah, I knocked down stage 8 first try. And then stage 9, I was on stage 9 for the next 2 hours, basically. And then once I got past stage 9, stage 10, I really understood game mechanics just because of trial and error and failing so much in stage 9 that I started just understanding the game better and better. And then I got to stage 10, and stage 10 was a breeze. But like I said, Moe said, he didn't play a lot of flight sims. I guess it's not his jam. And I love flight simulator games. I've played many flight simulator games across Atari, Virtual Boy to PC, Super Nintendo, you name it. I'm all about flight sims. So, that's probably the big difference between our playthroughs is that I have a lot of experience in these types of games and Moe has little. Yeah. So, there's another flight sim game for the Game Boy. I think it's F-18 Turn and Burn.
Yeah, I think there's another one as well.
Yeah, and the F-18 Turn and Burn manual, because I actually have the manual for that game, is 50 plus pages. It's a little novel. It's actually it is the thickest Game Boy manual that I own.
Yeah, that is very big.
Yes, so I can't wait to go into that game.
Oh boy.
But overall, it is a slightly below average game. It's not fantastic by any means, but for me, a person that likes flight simulator games, this game to me was perfectly fine and pretty enjoyable. It was pretty relaxed. If you watch my VOD of this, I really don't get too upset at the game at all. Until I get to like stage 9, I get a little whiny, but like for the most part, I'm laughing, laid back, pretty casual throughout my entire playthrough. Like I'm in my comfort zone for sure.
Yeah, do not watch my playthrough because like the second part is fine because then I actually was making a lot of progress really quick, and then the shit hit the fan, as they say, or in this case the jet stream hit the engine and it all came spinning down.
But yeah, I played my playthrough on a ROM as well too. It's like game 115, 117. I still didn't have a really good retro setup yet, so I was still doing stuff on ROMs and whatnot. But I do own a copy of Top Gun, Guts and Glory. I don't have a manual because it was actually hard to find a manual at the time, and I'm not going to spend $20 for a manual.
Yeah,
so at least not a Top Gun manual by any means. So maybe someday I'll find one at a flea market or the game shop or whatever for fairly cheap. We'll see. But yeah, I don't know. I personally didn't mind the game at all. But I also loved the movie, so I made a lot of Top Gun jokes throughout the entire playthrough as well. Quoted Top Gun. I probably sang a few Top Gun songs during my playthrough, but that's, it's how it is.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Take what you want out of this episode, like.
It's a very divided episode.
Yeah.
Moe had a very different experience than what I had. And I'm purely assuming because of experience in that genre. So, because there are games that Moe plays that it takes me 3 times as long to beat than he did, only because like he's played those types of games way more than I have. So,
yeah, I will have to go back to it, and I do want to see it be beaten as quickly as possible, so I never have to touch it again. But yeah, like you said, for me, before I played this game, Star Trek 25th Anniversary was the worst game I've ever played on Game Boy.
I have yet to play that. I don't understand that game.
Yeah, it's a straight port from the NES one for anybody who's ever played it, but it consists of both a shoot 'em up and a top-down exploration action game, but both are done so poorly that I hated that game because it was just bad, but I did get through it rather quickly. But this one, I don't like playing it, I don't like seeing it, I don't like listening to it, and then I'm stuck right now. So yeah, for me at this part, and I've played, I think I'm at 348 games right now that I've beaten for Game Boy. This is for me the worst game I've played so far. So
my worst game so far to date is Worms. Worms Game Boy is the worst game I've played so far.
Yeah, I only checked that out for a minute, but I probably have to go back to that because you said there were missions and I couldn't find any missions, so I just played one.
There's like a tournament, yeah.
So I probably will go back to that at some point, but that wasn't a fun game either, but at least I understood what was going on in the game, so that made it a little bit more sensible. But yeah.
Worms and Elite Soccer are the 2 worst games that I've played.
Yeah.
They both have gotten 0s out of 10 to my checklist. So, so if you're listening and you're wanting to play it, not wanting to play it, just, take it as is. If you do want to try it out, like, honestly, you can get a feel for the game in the first, 2 or 3 missions. If you don't like it, don't continue because you're just going to get more and more frustrated with the game. If you do enjoy it, keep playing it.
Yeah, and
there are 2 other versions. There are 2 other options you can do: the air battles and the bombing missions as well too. So,
which probably are also the same. I've never even tried them so far.
Yeah, I didn't even play them.
But yeah, maybe if you are a little bit better at this game, it's indeed a 3-hour game for you, and then you're done with it. For me, sadly, it's not. I hope it doesn't take me longer than 6 hours in the end, but yeah.
It's going to be your longest gameplay. It's going to be a hyperload running all over again.
Oh, God. I really hope not. No.
Speed run of this game, though. Speaking of playing it quickly, I know there's a speedrun of Top Gun on NES. I don't know I don't know how you speedrun Top Gun on the NES, but nope, just Top Gun and Top Gun Second Mission. How do you speedrun a Top Gun game?
Don't ask me. I don't even know what the game is, so I'm sure there is a way.
How do you what? You literally just fly into a corner for 10 minutes and that's it. How is whatever. Okay, cool. I can speedrun anything nowadays. There's no speedrun leaderboard to Top Gun Guts and Glory at all. I don't even know if there's a task or anything of it.
Just a long play, which is like an hour and 25 minutes, I believe, with no deaths. So technically, it is the speed run. But again, it's a long play. I don't trust those. So
cheating Andes over there, just doing their thing. Moe and I have the very, very similar ideas of those long plays.
Yeah,
so,
because I've seen it's because I've seen quite a few where I can literally see that they're cheating. So I never trust it. It's like, oh, but it's no commentary and it's no death, and then I'm like, yeah, I don't believe you.
The worst is when you see those playthroughs on a leaderboard.
Oh, right.
I get real pissy when I see that. Sorry, Legs. I get real mad when I see that. So I get real upset when I see World of Log play on a speedrunning leaderboard. Mm-hmm. Just to have a leaderboard made, basically. Yeah. But yeah, no, there's no speedrunning of any sort with this game. If you want to speedrun it and route it and do all that, by all means, go right ahead. I am not going to do this game. I'm sorry. Nope. As much as I did enjoy this game, I kind of don't want to play it again. So, yeah. All right, so yeah, we're going to do another quick break here. A little short segment. When we come back, we'll all do the community events and marathons and all that fun stuff coming up. So stay tuned.
And there's a raging fire in my heart tonight, growing higher and higher in my soul. There's a raging fire in the sky tonight. I wanna ride on the silver dove far into the night until I make you take me on your mighty wings. Make you take me on your mighty wings across the sky. Here we go. Take me on your mighty wings. Take me on your mighty wings tonight.
Alright, welcome back everybody. So, community events related to Game Boy. As we speak and record right now, Games Done Quick Corona Relief is happening. I watched Kirby's Dream Land this morning at like 5 in the morning because I was still awake for some unknown reason. I don't even know how many Game Boy games were actually in the GDQ Corona Relief marathon. I don't really follow much with GDQ anymore, so there's that. Again, as we record this episode, tomorrow starts Retrothon, so April 19th. We have a nice Game Boy block for Retrothon, at least.
Yeah, super excited.
Yours truly starts it off with Kirby Stream Land Extra Mode, and then Legs is doing Dragon Heart, I believe.
Yep.
We have Kitsuretsu.
Felix the Cat.
Felix the Cat. I'm doing Kid Nicky and Who Framed Roger Rabbit, which I'm terrified to do those two games because I haven't played them in like a year plus. I'm more terrified of Kid Nicky than Roger Rabbit because I can snowball that game super bad. And then Mannix is doing all 5 Mega Man Game Boys.
Yeah,
which is crazy.
First time ever that gets shown, at least by one person, and I think in general.
Yeah.
So that's really cool that not only the Game Boy block ends with the 5 Mega Man games, which is a real joy to watch. Mannix is really good at all of them. And then it just flows into the actual Mega Man block, which lasts for me until 8 in the morning. I don't think I'll be able to get through that. But yeah, I'm super glad that the Game Boy block for me starts at 7 p.m. and I can watch the entire thing. It's going to be really cool.
Here we go. So I pull up the schedule. So at noon, we got Kirby's Dream Land, Pokemon Blue, Kitsuretsu, Dragonheart, Felix the Cat, Barbie Game Girl, probably from Sharif. Yep. The Page Master. Oh no. Sharif again. Sharif loves really good Game Boy games. God, the Page Master sucks.
All right,
that was my third. That was like I think my third or sixth game I ever did for Game Boy Adventure. And that's when I questioned if I wanted to finish the challenge or not. I really did not like that game. And then Kid Nicky, Who Framed Roger Rabbit, and then 3-hour estimate basically of Mega Man 1 through 5, which is to me that's crazy low. But I mean, Mannix is really good at them.
He's been practicing like crazy the past few days.
Because Mega Man 5 alone is like an hour, so. And then we go into the Mega Man series after that. DOS, Mega Man 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 9. No one plays 8 because it sucks. So, and no one plays 10 because it's too anime. So,
yeah.
Outside of that, so actual marathons that you'll be able to watch coming up is we have Power Up with Pride on June 12th through June 14th. Only 3 Game Boy games were submitted. Do you want to know what they were?
Sure.
One was Dragonheart from Legs.
You're right.
Right. I think I closed the tab. That's too bad. The other one was a Pokemon game, and the other one was Final Fantasy Legends 2.
Right.
So, quality Game Boy games.
Well, I mean, Pokemon and Final Fantasy Legends are good
No one
games.
wants to watch Pokemon anymore. People are tired of watching Pokemon Game Boy games. That's all that ever gets submitted for Game Boy is Pokemon. Yeah. No one cares about Pikachu and Bulbasaur. Let's move on with our life already.
Yeah, and Final Fantasy Legends might be a little bit long.
Yeah, I don't remember what the estimate was for that. I mean, it is an RPG, so. I submitted the Power Up with Pride, but I did not submit a Game Boy game. I submitted Yearwalk, so we'll see if that gets in. I submitted a bunch of stuff to SGDQ, but as you all probably heard, SGDQ is postponed until August now. And I don't know if they're going to take the existing game submissions and use those. It'd be kind of dumb if they did, since people's schedules are drastically going to change come August. So I'm assuming they're just going to reopen game submissions again, probably sometime in June or July.
Yeah, if it doesn't get postponed even longer, because I think it's a little too early to say that everything's going to be fine then.
Let's not get crazy. Florida's reopening next week, so
yeah. Here everything is canceled for the entire summer, so nothing can happen that has more than...
No. This is America. We only care about money. So... Oh, and we do have Handheld Heroes coming up. I don't have any information about Handheld Heroes. We are 90% sure it's going to happen. We just haven't talked about it at all, because we just don't talk. So
probably my time to submit something to it. I don't know what though, because you know me and speed running.
I have no idea when I'm going to submit to it, if anything.
Maybe it's time.
I'm running out of Game Boy games.
Yeah, maybe it's time to dust off Darkwing Duck, because that's actually
there you go. That's a fun speedrun.
I'm gonna put an estimate at 10 minutes longer on it because I know where I'm gonna screw it up. But yeah.
Yeah. Darkwing Duck. Yeah, I watched that entire series like 3 months ago.
Yeah.
It does not hold up
Probably
very well.
not, no.
On it, sadly, it doesn't, but it was still fun to watch. I mean, there's probably a bunch more community stuff happening right now, especially right now with COVID-19 happening. There's a lot of just like charity streams happening for like Corona relief.
Yeah, popping up here and there.
Yeah, but like they're like what most of they're popping up. Like they're not like a month in advance. It's like a week or two in advance. Like, hey, I plan on doing this in a week or two. Do you guys want to run in this? And it's like, okay. There's so many of them happening right now that it's really hard to keep track of literally all of that.
Yeah.
So the best thing I can say is if you like follow some speedrunners, pay attention to Twitter. Like usually that stuff is getting retweeted and liked like mad. So yeah. Anyway, listener questions.
Good question, actually. I totally forgot.
I'm trying to open Discord.
Let's see.
Oh, we do have a channel made for it. Okay, there's some. Oh my god, there's stuff in here.
For sure. SufferUM asked if everybody found out about this game on one of those multi-game cards.
Nope.
I did not. Like, I didn't have it on it. I had a few multi-game cards, but it did not have Top Gun on them at all.
I don't own any multi-game cards at all. But I do not. But I found out about Top Gun Game Boy because I was browsing through my game list and I saw Top Gun and I got excited, so I played it. That's how I found out about Top Gun Game Boy. I didn't know there was a Game Boy version until Game Boy Adventure.
Yeah, I also just saw it on the list. Like, it was never a game I would have looked up on my own or anything. So. I was not familiar with Top Gun, so no reason for me to actually go out and look for it. But yeah, that was the only question we had for this episode, at least.
Let's see here. Crust Funhouse. Oh boy. Also got 12-1. Oh, I see. It's just a bunch of multi-card.
Yeah, it's all about the multi-cards.
Chatter.
I had Kipniki on multi-card, though. That's how I found out about that game. So.
Oh, really? I own a Kid Nicky card somewhere over there in that box.
Yeah, I have it now, for sure, but yeah, it was on one of those multi-cards. There's a few of the games that I still like to this day that were on those. Usually the Japanese exclusive ones, because they weren't that good to find here, so... they were usually on that, so.
Dude, that Super 8-1 that Sufferum put on there. Alien 3, classic. Top Gun 2. I like how they called it Top Gun 2. Classic. Little Mermaid, classic. Star Wars, classic. Terminator 3.
Oh, wow. 3 even. That movie
was there
wasn't
a 3?
even
I don't
out
think there
by
was a
then.
3 back then. Yeah, no. Crust Funhouse.
Mm-hmm.
Bugs Bunny 2, Empire Strike Back.
Both Star Wars games. Well, 2 of the 3.
Yeah, dang. Oh, here we go. It's a Super 12-1. The Simpsons 2, Spider-Man 2, Double Dragon 3,
Okay.
The Flash,
Ugh.
Fighting Simulator,
Yeah, oh my.
whatever.
Yeah. That's
Caesar's Palace, NBA Basketball. Basketball's 2 words. DuckTales, Migraine. That label gives me a migraine. Quirk, Tennis. Oh, God, Alleyway. Oof.
Yeah.
Oof. Alleyway. That game sucks. Definitely didn't speedrun that game back in the day. So, yeah, cool. Yeah. No, so to answer your question, nope. Learned about it via Game Boy Challenge, basically.
Yep.
All right. Well, with that said, thank you all for listening. If you have any feedback, thoughts, criticisms, positive vibes, we are always listening. Comment on the episodes, hang out with us in the Discord. You can tweet at us, DM us on Discord or on Twitter. I think my DMs are open. We love to hear from you. We love to make the podcast better. We love to do, whatever we can to grow and make sure that you all keep enjoying listening to two grumpy men talk about games from the 80s and 90s. So, yeah. Oh, we have Patreon. So Patreon, right? Yep, Patreon.
Yes.
Mo's not talking to me anymore, so. We have Patreon, so if you do want to support the podcast, we have what? Do we have two tiers? $1, $5 tier?
Yeah, we have 2 tiers indeed.
Yeah. So if you want to be a patron, not a Patreon, but a patron, you get a special little thingy in Discord, a little role. You can see the behind-the-scenes channels. You can see some of the more lock stuff. I think you have access to our notes as well per episode.
Yes.
Yep. Bloopers, which there are plenty. And then our always thanking you for being a patron and supporting Mo and I and allowing us to either pay legs or put the money towards our subscription fees for hosting the podcast. Once we've hit $20 a month, I believe it was, we're going to start live streaming our podcast episodes, which means I'm going to have to start showering Saturday mornings. So if you want to see that, make sure, not the showering part, but if you want to see the live streams,
you have to pay. You have to pay a lot more to include the showering scenes as well.
That costs a little extra. You can DM me. Also, if you're not into the whole subscription thing with Patreon or don't have a Patreon account, or I don't actually know how Patreon works at all, we do have a PayPal. So if you are feeling generous and do want to support the podcast in any way, you can donate via PayPal. If you do, please let Mo or myself know, unless you want to remain anonymous, so I can give you a role in Discord and give you some proper thanks and any ways that we can to thank you for your support. Outside of that, you can find literally all that information on gbrunners.com. Along with our Twitch, Twitter, and YouTube. So like for me, you can find me at Belthic Gaming on Twitch and Twitter. I'm starting to slowly reload stuff to YouTube again. It sucks, but I'm doing it. And you can find me on Belthic on TikTok now. That's right. I am on TikTok, social media platform.
Wow.
It is fantastic, let me tell you what. And then I think Belthic Gaming on Instagram as well. Where can I find you, Mo?
Yeah, I'm too old school to go into any new social media things. So it's already a surprise I'm on Twitter, to be perfectly honest. So, yeah, but yeah, you can find me on Twitch, Twitter, and YouTube, all /Moelle, which is spelled Moelleuh. I don't think I'll ever have Instagram because I barely take any pictures of anything except for the amazing food I make. But that only happens like once every 2.
That's all my Instagram is drawings and food.
Yeah, that
it's literally all
doesn't happen that often, so it would be like a post every 2 weeks maybe, but I could do that, but I really don't have any interest in having another timeline to look at because Twitter and Facebook are already depressing enough, to be honest. So,
moving on, you can find our wonderful producer Legs at SprintingLegs on Twitch, Legs on YouTube. I think it's Legs on YouTube.
It is, but it's not like an actual URL, but you should be able to find her on their legs there.
Yeah. Legs in the Discord. And then she has a fantastic website, SprintingLegs.com, I believe it is. Yeah. Where you can see a bunch for projects and active projects, a lot of it pertaining to speedrunning and Game Boy. So, and again, you can find all of this information on gbrunners.com/TIGB.
Yeah. There's links to everything on that, so
There's links to SoundCloud. There's links to Apple Podcast, right? Yeah, Apple Podcast, I think.
Yeah. If you're listening to us through any means where you can actually review us or give us a rating, make sure to do so if you're inclined, because that helps put us up there with the probably better podcasts. But if you enjoy the content, then maybe other people can find out about us a little bit easier as well.
Yeah, it's a very niche podcast, we get that, but oddly enough, like, Game Boy stuff is starting to become a little popular. As I'm reading through forums and articles, the amount of hashed new hardware and ways to play Game Boy games is starting to increasingly become more popular, which is kind of cool, but also a little scary.
Yeah, because the prices will go way up, which is not good.
Well, I'm more thinking speedrunning, but yes, also the prices. But also the prices are going to go up. Yes.
I still need 700 games before my collection is complete.
Oh, I need a lot more games still. I'm very curious to see what the retro market will do once this COVID-19 stuff is said and done. Is it going to crash a little bit? Because no one has money?
Like everything is going to crash.
Or is it going to skyrocket because everyone's trying to make money? You know?
It
like,
could go either
which way is it going to go? So I'm a little curious to see. I'm hoping that like it kind of crashes a bit and I can just start buying like Amazing Tater and Spud's Adventure and games like that for a little cheaper than, $300. Yeah. So, God, there better be a fucking light at the end of this stuff. With that said, what's our next episode going to be on, Mo?
Yeah, so we are doing very well with guests these past few months, I guess. At least for you people, months. For us, it's like we try to record a lot at the same time, so it all kind of blends together. But yeah, we had let Mackie for the last episode, and you had the developers for Squidlid on, and we had Granite in the past, of course. But next episode, like I announced a few episodes ago, we will be joined by Man Over Mars, who you probably all have heard of by at this point, because 90% of custom emotes on Twitch are probably made by Man Over Mars. And he also did our logo, of course. And he's a good friend of ours. So he will be joining us. And like I said then, he actually had his own podcast quite some time ago called Pixelated Audio, where they talked about composers and video game music. So he will be joining us for Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Fall of the Foot Clan. We're only gonna talk about that one. We do intend to do all 3 Turtles games together with Man Over Mars, but we're just gonna do one because otherwise it's gonna turn into a 6-hour episode, knowing us. But yeah, he will help us out a little bit, trying to find some more information about the music, which is easy because it's a Konami game, and I already looked something up, and it's a very, very, very well-known composer. Man Over Mars can definitely help us with that one.
Yep. Also, we're approaching our 2-year anniversary.
Yeah, I forgot. I looked it up last time, actually, when it was gonna be.
I think it was like the end of May or start of June.
I think it's June, yeah, probably. But yeah, we're getting close to that. We don't really have a plan for it, so maybe that one would be our 2-year anniversary episode. Yeah. I'll figure it out by then. Maybe we'll do something special. I doubt we will, but what could we even do?
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, me neither.
I'm not gonna live stream it because I'm not gonna dress up as a turtle.
Yeah, no, I'm. No, let's not do that. Well, I have a well, I could use the bandana, but then I can't see anything.
Our 2-year anniversary will be Legs and Petra talking about Dragon.
Yeah, that would be better actually. Then we can take a break. I'll ask her again. Maybe she will do it. That would be cool.
That would be fun. But yeah, so follow the Foot Clan. Our second, third, fourth popular Game Boy game. Because we've had Link's Awakening, Pokemon.
The remakes, at least, yeah.
Yeah. Darkwing Duck, I guess.
Oh, well, not really, but
That's a bigger game.
it's a bigger game, yeah, that people might have heard about. But yeah, I did my light on Wario Land 2, I guess, which is definitely a well-known game.
Yeah, I did my light on the Kirby series way back when. Yeah, so.
Sometimes we do like to do a more well-known game, so.
Easier to do. So, yeah, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. Raphael's the best turtle. Don't quote me, don't at me. And yeah, until next time, see ya.
Later. But baby, I know it. You've lost that loving feeling. Whoa, that loving feeling. You've lost that loving feeling. Now it's gone.
Now it's gone. Gone. Whoa, whoa.